Well, it looks like an anchor from CNN is being sent to Siberia, so to speak. That would be one Jim Acosta, who just had this little teeny habit of getting underneath the president's nerves, and now on the eve of the inauguration is suddenly getting sent to a much different time slot. We're going to get into that, plus some more bad news for CNN overall. I mean, in addition to its ratings, the company was hit with that defamation lawsuit. A Navy veteran was suing for $1 billion. Well, that has been settled, and not in CNN's favor. We're going to get into that. Michelle Obama is suddenly responding to all these rumors of divorce. And you know what? I don't think it's necessarily doing her any favors. I think that actually it's contributing to even more. And I'm going to show you why. Plus, the inauguration has just moved indoors. Donald Trump has a few things to say about that. We will discuss, along with the security implications. It is good to have you here. We're getting ready for a big weekend, are we not? Welcome to the program. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Do me that favor. Subscribe, like, share. Join the conversation. We're live. Careful what you say. I can see it all. I can see every bit of it. We are in the process, ladies and gentlemen, of making America great again, making our economy stronger again, making our markets great again, making our borders strong, and therefore our country safe again. So there is a lot to celebrate, but not for CNN. Maybe we can celebrate this, right? Because you won't have to watch this guy in the middle of the day anymore. Oh, Jim Acosta getting sent off to Siberia, as they like to say. I believe that was the headline in the New York Post, as well as the Daily Mail. Here we go. Take a look. CNN moves to banish Jim Acosta to the Siberia of television news in advance of Trump's return to office. Ha ha. Okay, so is this really about Donald Trump and Jim Acosta, or is this really about CNN just not knowing what to do with some people that they have that maybe they wish they didn't have right about now? That would be the case, I reckon, shall we say, because they're paying all these big salaries and they don't quite know what to do with them, and it's somewhat problematic, shall we say. Somewhat problematic because they've got this stable of personalities that they have to put somewhere, and they know that actually nobody really wants to watch them. Jim is one of those such people. Although, according to one newsletter, his ratings weren't all that terrible. Well, they're going to be pretty bad at midnight. Anyway, I don't know how they're going to sell this to him. Maybe they're like, oh, hey, it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine because guess what? You are going to be seen at 9 o'clock on the West Coast. Hey, it's prime time on the West Coast. There you go. That's how you sell it. Anyway, the boss over there, who's a print guy and doesn't, in my estimation, know what he's doing. They never hire anybody decent over there. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's flailing around trying to figure out how they're going to get any kind of ratings there, and they just can't, because you see, it's CNN. That ship has sailed. They are stacked with people who don't have a viewpoint other than that is extremely left. So there is no diversity in the newsroom other than one Scott Jennings who just gets beat up upon every single night. I think he does a heck of a job. They should pay him the big bucks for having to sit there and listen to all those Looney Tunes. Well, this management team is trying to figure out how they cut costs, how they reshuffle the deck, and how they don't really, really tick off the now soon-to-be president of the United States of America. Well, Jim Acosta, he's not taking it so well. He went on his show just yesterday and had this ridiculous stunt where he held up this giant pink sign all about him that some viewer made saying how great this is crazy. Can you imagine holding up the fan mail on TV? He's like, hey, bosses, I matter. No, you don't, Jim. No, you don't. Anyway, let's take
I want to take a moment to talk about something President Biden said during his farewell address. He warned the free press is crumbling in this country. I would add that's only if we, the people, let that happen. Journalists exist to seek the truth, to tell people's stories, to lift up voices that may not be heard otherwise, to shine a light on injustice, and to hold the powerful accountable. We are not the enemy of the people. We are the defenders of the people. Walter Cronkite once said, freedom of the press is not just important to democracy, it is democracy. I want to take a moment to show you something. A woman sent me this sign 8 years ago. She carried it here at a march in Washington. She wrote on the back of the sign, "To me and the press here in D.C., you have our support." To Nora, wherever you are, right back at you. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta.
Okay. Oh, if it makes you feel better, Jim, Nora, she's all India. The bosses aren't. The president can't stand you. And it looks like you're heading straight to Siberia, as they say. Midnight, I do believe, will be his time slot. Midnight until like 2 a.m. Hey, at least he still has a job, right? You see, that's how cheap they are. They don't want to just pay him out. They're going to make him work for it somehow, some way. This guy who took over, he came from the New York Times. So that's problem number one. Well, problem number one is he's a print guy, right? They're taking a print guy, they're trying to put him in a newsroom. Print guys, let me just tell you from my experience, they tend to be kind of drab and they don't really have any personality, or maybe they have personality, but they don't want you to have any personality on the air. And you know what? This is a medium where you kind of need some personality, don't you think? I mean, are you going to tune into me if I'm just going to sit here and read boring, monotone stuff? No. Well, somehow they think that boring monotone is going to work, and so they're putting in a couple of prompter readers. One would be Wolf Blitzer, and then the other is this Pamela Brown who, wow, I mean, I don't mean to be unkind, and I don't mean to be catty, but you know what? I do have a certain kind of respect for my profession, and you need to be able to talk off script at times, and I did see her during the whole ordeal with the New Orleans horrible situation with the bombing, and she could not speak without a teleprompter. So that is going to be a recipe for disaster. But who am I to tell them? You know what? I don't need to do this Thompson guy's job for him. He clearly doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He needs pizzazz. He needs personality. He needs, well, I don't know, Scott Jennings. Put Scott Jennings on more all day long. I'd be running him from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then again. But, you know, there's a reason they're in last place, shall we say. Hey, reminder, market's doing great today. Go check out 76 Research. This is my company that I started with a very dear friend who's a brilliant stock picker. He's been on Wall Street for some 20 years, running billions of dollars. And guess what? Our portfolio is killing it. I want you to have a chance at doing well for yourself. We got 3 portfolios there. You can get the 76 Research newsletter with code word dollar, just $1 a month, DOLLAR. For the first 2 months, it goes to $9.95 thereafter. But you know, if you get the model portfolio, that's where your real value is going to be. You should get all the model portfolios. Just join the Founders Club, and you can get all of our stock picks, 10 to 15 in each one of those. Wow, so things go from bad to worse at CNN. I mean, the ratings are tanking, and then they get this verdict that came in. Ooh, okay, so have you been following this defamation lawsuit? They went after a vet because he was helping people to get out of Afghanistan. You see, he had a gig or a company where people like Bloomberg could hire him. Bloomberg did hire him, actually, and he would help get people safely out of Afghanistan. And for some reason, CNN took it upon itself to try and do this giant smear job. And then there's all these texts going back and forth between the reporters and the producers, and all aired on Jake Tapper's show, of course. And they're like, we're going to get this guy, we're going to get this guy. There was some profanity involved, not really good stuff. So they were out to get this Zachary Young, for whatever reason, accusing him of charging innocent Afghans money to get them out of Afghanistan. And it turns out that wasn't the case at all. He was working on behalf of corporations who would hire him to get some of their people out. And yet CNN went with this story anyway. So they were found liable for defaming the guy, for defaming the security contractor. And they have awarded this gentleman, the jury did, Zachary Young, damages. So this is a big deal. So basically, his case was saying, you know what, you guys smeared me because you were implying that I was illegally profiting, and I was like basically working on the black market, taking money from these innocent, poor, desperate Afghans. This was a report by Alex Marquette that first aired on CNN's The Lead with Jake Tapper. We wasn't very happy about it. He sued for $1 billion, actually. And I'll tell you, there could be some more coming because not all the punitive damages have been awarded. They've actually only awarded first $4 million in damages and then another $1 million in personal damages, but the punitive damages are still coming. So this is kind of ugly for CNN. Let's watch what just went down in the courtroom moments ago.
Pardon me? I said, I understand y'all have reached a verdict.
This is the judge.
You have the verdict form with you? I do. Can you hand that to the bailiff, please?
You can see Zachary Young. Okay, so the judge is getting that verdict. He's reading it over himself as he prepares to hand it back and have it be read. Again, this is not good news for CNN.
The clerk to publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 14th Judicial Circuit in Port Bay County, Florida, case number 22608CA, Zachary Young, plaintiff versus Cable News Network, Inc., defendant. Verdict form number 1. Do you find by the greater weight of the evidence that defendant CNN committed defamation per se against plaintiff Zachary Young? Yes. Number 2, do you find by the greater weight of the evidence that defendant CNN committed defamation by implication against plaintiff Zachary Young? Yes. Number 3, what is the total amount of plaintiff Zachary Young's damages for both lost earnings in the past and for the loss of his earning capacity in the future, reduced by the amount that plaintiff could have earned from comparable employment? $4 million. Number 4, what is the total amount of plaintiff Zachary Young's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, injury to reputation, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life that he sustained in the past and that he has sustained for the future? $1 million. Number 5, do you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted against defendant CNN? Yes. Date, January 17, 2025, signed by the foreperson.
Okay, yeah.
I'm really happy about this because I think too often the mainstream media just does what it wants, right? They don't care about who they hurt. You saw that obviously with Donald Trump. A little different because he was a very public person and public people are subject to a slightly different standard, but nonetheless, he went after them too. And he won $16 million from ABC News. He's suing CBS News for $10 billion, which would actually be more than the whole company with its parent included is actually worth. But you know what? Like, you can't just say things, right? You can't just say things without having any kind of consequence and thinking about how that may hurt an individual. The struggle that causes an individual, in this case, a veteran, trying to run a business, getting people out of dangerous places, and yet, what happened? Did one of the reporters not able to get out somebody that they wanted to get out? I don't know. But in other words, they hadn't done enough due diligence. And they actually slandered a guy in the process. And it's gross. And it's just indicative of what this mainstream media cabal has become. So I suspect it's going to get even worse for CNN before it gets better. The inauguration has moved indoors.
Breaking news just moments ago, a source confirming to Fox News that President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance will be sworn in indoors at Monday's inauguration. I believe this is only the second time this has happened. The last time it happened was 1985 with none other than Ronald Reagan. There are dangerously cold.
So at least he's in good company, right? Ronald Reagan was the last one. It is very, very cold. There was snow in D.C. There was an unfortunate accident in D.C. on the bridge last night. Listen, it's very, very cold. So it's hard to be outside in those kind of temperatures. So the president-elect, soon to be, and former president Donald Trump coming out with this on Truth Social. Let's read it. January 20th cannot come fast enough. Everybody, even those that initially opposed a victory by President Donald J. Trump and the Trump administration, just want it to happen. Isn't that the truth? I mean, hey, Just see who's going to be seated with him. You got Mark Zuckerberg, you got Jeff Bezos, you got Elon Musk, the whole crowd. They all just want it to happen. It is my obligation to protect the people of our country, but before we even begin, we have to think of the inauguration itself. The weather forecast for Washington, D.C. with the wind chill factor could take temperatures into severe record lows. There is an Arctic blast sweeping the country. I don't want to see people hurt or injured in any way. It is dangerous conditions for the tens of thousands of law enforcement, first responders, police, canines, and even horses, and hundreds of thousands of supporters that will be outside for many hours on the 20th in any event. If you decide to come, please dress warmly. Therefore, I have ordered the inauguration address, in addition to prayers and other speeches, to be delivered in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, as was used by Ronald Reagan in 1985. Also, because of very cold weather, the various dignitaries and guests will be brought into the Capitol. This will be a very beautiful experience for all, and especially for the large TV audience. It's going to be huge, you know it. We will open Capital One Arena on Monday for live viewing of this historic event, and to host the presidential parade, I will join the crowd at Capital One after my swearing in. All other events will remain the same, including the victory rally at Capital One Arena Sunday at 3. Doors open at 1. Arrive early, and all 3 inaugural balls on Monday evening. Wow. Okay, so it's moving indoors. He wouldn't have done that if he didn't have to do that. I think he is looking out for the people. He wants to make sure nobody's getting frostbitten. Heck, you get the canines, you get the horses, the whole shebang, right? Like, everybody needs to stay warm. But there's another thing going on, another layer to this story that he's not talking about. But I actually think there are more reasons besides the weather for wanting to have this indoors. And I'm relieved it's indoors because I think that there are valid security risks outside. Having attended the last one in 2016, I remember the whole city was basically locked down, but even then, it's still tough, right? You get hundreds of thousands of people all outside. The top Secret Service officer was just quoted yesterday saying this.
I would say what's different is we are in a higher threat environment.
What is the difference in comparison to the last inauguration or previous inauguration?
Last inauguration? Yeah. I would say we have a slightly more robust security plan. We've been planning for this event for 12 months, along with our partners. It's an ever-changing threat environment, and so we stay flexible. If we see that, hey, we need to shore this particular checkpoint up, we do that. So what's different? We've learned. This is our 5th NSSE this year in the Washington field office. We've done 83 NSSEs. Each one we take a look at, and if there's areas where we need to improve, we do it. But what I can tell you is that we are 100% confident in the plan that we have put in place for this inauguration, that the public and our protectees will be safe.
Because that's what matters. Listen, we've been through this twice now. Just saying. So that was William McCool, U.S. Secret Service agent. I want to go to something my friend Dan Bongino said. Dan is a former Secret Service agent himself. You may know him from his podcast. He hosts a terrific show. He's a great, great guy. I'm just going to say that. I think the world of Dan, and I respect his opinion. And he has some concerns about this inauguration. So I'm going to let him express it.
You're asking me, do I think the inauguration is safe? After yesterday's briefing, my answer is probably not. And it pains me to say that. Now, it's one of those things, I'm speculating. The inauguration, ladies and gentlemen, hasn't happened yet. I'm just afraid that the people in charge at the top of the Secret Service, and certainly at the FBI, do not know what they're doing. Let me just say this. I think if President Trump at this point, given the people in charge of the Secret Service at the top and their known incompetence, I think if President Trump were to stay in the car and forego the walk, I would be comfortable. I have not been briefed in on the security plan. I wish I was. I would like to review it myself because I've done it before and I want to see what they're looking at. I know exactly what it's supposed to look like. Now, here's the bad news first, okay? I said I'd get to it. The FBI, who I don't trust as far as I could throw. The FBI, this is very short. This is a manager at the FBI, obviously responsible for a portion of the inaugural security. Here he is saying that they're not tracking any threats. Do you really believe that there are no threats to the inauguration? Are you insane? Whatever the FBI says these days, I tend to believe the opposite.
Yeah, I'm with him on that. Anyway, there are always, however you like it, there are always threats, and you kind of need to always run scared. I want to go to something which is a little bit controversial, and I want to preface this by saying, it's neither here nor there. You can take what you want out of this, but there was a pastor Biggs, who allegedly forecasted, he's some kind of psychic, he forecasted that President Trump would be the victim of an assassination attempt, that he would make it, but that the bullet would whiz right by his ear. So he said this months before the, of course, horrific event happened in Pennsylvania. And I want you to hear it because he's saying something else now. And again, this is, who knows, right? I mean, this is neither, don't take this as any kind of truth, so to speak. Just that these are the things that I think you have to worry about. And the reality is Donald Trump is a target. We know that. He's already been targeted twice. Who's to say it's not going to happen again? Anyway, here's Pastor Biggs.
All throughout, and I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming.
So that was prior to what happened in Pennsylvania, and this is him just the other day.
Say it. And so these men were buying this fertilizer, and so they were storing it.
Let me pause it for just a second to give you some perspective. He's suggesting that there's some kind of planned effort to have some kind of attack on the president using fertilizer and trucks, et cetera. It's a little bit all over the place. You can go to his YouTube channel if you want to learn more, but this is what he's alleging.
And I saw massive dump trucks with separation of in the back of these dump trucks, separation with 50-gallon drums, all filled with different kind of chemicals to make what was happened in Oklahoma City back in the 90s. Okay? This happened in the 90s. And it was a massive thing, not black powder, but this fertilizer stuff. And I saw fertilizer in in a big dump truck. And the dump truck was like a big diesel. They looked like construction workers. They had purchased a massive construction vehicle, like dump truck thing. And they put all this in so that it would cause a major catastrophic event. So they made the front of it armor-proof, bulletproof. Like you could not shoot it and to make it stop it. So like very, very strong armor was on the front of this truck underneath it. So it wasn't able to be seen really well. Okay. And I saw these men, and this is going to go a lot of different places. Okay. So you have to just listen to what I'm trying to tell y'all. I saw these men with these vests on in the front cab of the truck. Vest on. And they had explosives on these vests. And there was 2 men in the truck. And they took the truck and they used it to go through police barricade and military barricades. And
okay. So again, that is Pastor Brendan Biggs. Critics of him have said, he's all over the place. He's got doomsday scenarios all day long. And so, maybe, the broken clock, what do they say, is right twice a day. Anyway, I'll just complete what he is stressing here, which is his fear is that there could be a state-sponsored attack, possibly orchestrated by Iran and executed by hundreds of infiltrators that have been smuggled into the United States. He's worried that it could have an effect on 10 major cities, etc., and thereby crippling the ability of Trump to really begin to lead our country and his influence, etc. So, look, it's scary stuff. And whether that's here, there, or anywhere, I would say the reality is still this. The Secret Service needs to be prepared. They need to be all over this. We need to be 5 steps ahead of wherever the team was back in Pennsylvania. Because this is serious. Really, really serious right now. You know who's not going to be there at all? One Michelle Obama. No, she's just blowing the whole thing off, kind of like she blew off Jimmy Carter's funeral. It's a little bit weird. You're the first lady for 8 years and the guy who's like a big deal in the Democrat Party. You can't even show up for his funeral because you're on, quote, an extended vacation in Hawaii with some scheduling conflicts. It's kind of odd. And now you're not going to go to the inauguration and no reason why. No. They're not giving any reason why as to why she won't be there, despite the fact that you have former presidents, Bill Clinton, George Bush, and all their wives that are attending. No, Michelle can't be bothered, and she's not even given an excuse. Simply that she will, quote, not attend the upcoming inauguration. So what's that about? A lot of people are speculating it's about, dare we say, divorce. Is there trouble in paradise? Things not going so well for the Obamas, Mr. and Mrs. Barack Obama? Are they no more? Well, of course, you can imagine when she doesn't show up to Jimmy Carter's funeral and she doesn't show up to the inaugural event, even Hillary Clinton's going to be there, then people start to talk. And boy, are they talking. They're talking. I mean, you've even got Jennifer Aniston now being implicated in this. The actress, allegedly, per In Touch magazine, having something going on with Barack Obama. I mean, it's getting weird, okay? Dare I say that I wouldn't have thought it would have been Jennifer? Yeah. I won't go there because there's too many things I could say and I know I'm going to get in trouble. You know where I'm going, okay? So we'll leave it at that. It sort of surprised me. Apparently it surprised her too. She had to break her silence about those dating rumors. She went on to Jimmy Kimmel's show and said, nope, nothing. This is untrue. I only met him once. I know Michelle better than him, whatever. But the rumor mill has started. And this woman who's like some kind of columnist and she writes about politics and Hollywood, her name is Jessica Reed Krause. She said, guess what? The divorce announcement, it's coming soon. Just wait. She put this out in a column yesterday. In fact, she said she got a DM from a friend who says, Barack, he's, quote, with Jennifer Aniston. My old manager, now a friend, is connected to her inner circle. At a gathering with Jennifer's friends, the affair came up casually. Jennifer herself admitted it. They were sitting with a psychic, which makes it sound so surreal, but it's definitely not a secret among her closest friends. It's an interesting little tidbit. The psychic. So all of this has caused Michelle Obama to now issue some kind of response. She had it initiated by her husband, and then she retweeted it. Let's take a look. There they are, happy couple. This came out just like an hour ago. Happy birthday to the love of my life. At Michelle Obama, you fill every room with warmth, wisdom, humor, and grace. And you look good doing it. I'm so lucky to be able to take on life's adventures with you. love you. And she writes back, love you, honey. Heart, kissy face. So one of the things that people are noticing is that they're sitting there at a dinner table, allegedly having dinner, but there's no food on the plates. There's no water or wine in their cups. It was like a little staged photo op. Okay, we're going to sit down, pretend we're eating dinner. Nothing on the plates. Nope. But we got to do something because everybody's talking and everybody's wondering and everybody kind of thinks it's probably over. Maybe it is. But listen, I'm going to just tell you, Michelle, even if it is over, you still go to the inauguration. Even if it is over, you still go to Jimmy Carter's funeral. I mean, I'm sorry. You are a part of American history, whether you like it or not. You were the first lady for 8 years. 4 years too long. I mean, some would say 8 years too long. And I'd agree with that. But you got the second term and you can't even bother to show up for a guy who's like, a hero to a lot of Democrats. Because of your own personal issues, whatever they may be. I'm sorry, at some point, you put aside the personal stuff and you make sure your country comes first. That's what somebody with class would do, but I'm afraid Michelle Obama does not have any. Kid Rock knows that. He pointed it out last night on Fox. Yeah, Kid Rock knows there's no class with Michelle Obama. Jesse Waters asked him what he thought about the whole thing. And this is interesting because you know what? Kid Rock actually didn't vote for Obama, but he played at the inauguration. Why? Because he's a classy guy and he's an American and he's a patriot.
I heard, Michelle Obama's not attending. I would kindly remind her that years back, when Obama was first elected, I did not vote for him, but they asked me to play the inauguration, and I played it, and I went. Had a good time. I went for out of respect to the presidency, so I would kindly remind Miss Michelle about that.
I forgot about that, and that's cool, because it's really not about the politics, it's about the office, and you got to respect it. Why isn't Michelle attending? All the other first ladies are.
I don't know. She seems a little angry. She might be, I don't know. If you can't say something nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's trying to be careful. Just like I was trying to be careful, right? You got to be careful. You don't want to, you can't say something nice. But yeah, maybe she's a little angry. What is she angry about? I think we might know what she's angry about. Either that or, God forbid, there's a health issue going on, right? Because this is just weird behavior. You don't do that. I mean, unless she just really is just, and I know you guys don't like her, so maybe she really is that classless. But this is not cool. It's not good. No. I mean, look, Melania Trump, she was there at Mrs. Carter's funeral. She was there at Carter's funeral. I just can't believe this. Really disgusting behavior. Quick shout out to one of our great sponsors here on the show. That would be Balance in Nature. You can get 35% off with my code word Trish, Trish, if you go to balanceinnature.com. It's a new year. I think it's really important to prioritize yourself. A lot of people are doing that. They have thousands of testimonials that you can read through all online there at balanceofnature.com. And they have hundreds of thousands of customers all over the world. They make millions, if not billions, of these fruits and veggies, which is what I take every single year. And so lots of numbers we're talking about. Maybe the only number we're missing, though, is you. You need to prioritize yourself. It's really important. I talk about this because I think it's so easy to get caught up in, look, I got 3 kids and a busy life and a busy family, and you're running here, there, and everywhere. But you know what? If you're not healthy, you can't help everybody else. So prioritize yourself. Do that today. Take a look at balanceinnature.com. Look at those fruits and veggies. I take them every day. 35% off with code word Trish. You can call them at 1-800-246-8751. 1-800-246-8751. Money back guarantee, by the way. Money back guarantee and 35% off plus free shipping. So a pretty good deal. We got news today to tell you about on the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court coming out and saying that TikTok must go. It's lights out on January 19th, which would be this weekend. So this is getting kind of interesting because the Supreme Court's saying bye-bye because, there's security concerns. It's China. They got all this data on us, all this information, and you have to weigh this against the First Amendment given that it's a foreign actor. And I got to tell you, because I have a TikTok account, I'm with the Supreme Court on this one. And you know how much I care about the First Amendment. I know what gets through and what doesn't get through on TikTok, and sometimes it kind of surprises me, shall we say. I also think that it's troubling that they have so much data on us. If you don't go into the back of these apps and make sure that you check off everything and uncheck things and make sure that they're not basically seeped into your phone, then they're getting a lot of information on you. And information in the wrong hands can be kind of scary. Anyway, Donald Trump says he's going to work out a deal. Art of the deal. You know him. He's going to find a solution to this because basically they have to find an American buyer. You want to talk fire sale? They have to get somebody to buy them. Or ByteDance has to fold up shop here in America. Let's listen to the CEO of TikTok talking about what's next. And he's thanking Donald Trump.
On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. As we've said, TikTok is a place where people can create communities, discover new interests, and express themselves, including over 7 million American businesses who earn a living and gain new customers using our platform. We are grateful and pleased to have the support of a president who truly understands our platform, one who has used TikTok to express his own thoughts and perspectives, connecting with the world and generating more than 60 billion views of his content in the process. To all American users, thank you for making our TikTok community such a rich and vibrant space, for surprising and delighting us every day. Rest assured, we will do everything in our power to ensure our platform thrives as your online home for limitless creativity and discovery, as well as a source of inspiration and joy for years to come. Thank you. More to come.
So, it's going to get sold. ByteDance is not going to be able to keep it. That's just my prediction. I mean, Donald Trump is no fool. It will get sold. And he's got a little bit of time here, I think, to try and find a deal that works. A lot of people that kind of want this thing. You get Jimmy Donaldson. You know him, Mr. Beast? He's saying he'd love to get it. He's trying to put a team of investors together as we speak. In fact, he tweeted this out. Take a look. Okay, fine. I'll buy TikTok so it doesn't get banned. Unironically, I've had so many billionaires reach out to me since I tweeted this. So let's see if we can pull it off. And here's Jimmy.
Just got out of a meeting with a bunch of billionaires. TikTok, we mean business. This is my lawyer right here. We have an offer ready for you. We want to buy the platform. America deserves TikTok. Give me a seat at the table. Let me save this platform, TikTok.
Well, he's got to beat Elon Musk to it because Elon's also apparently in the running. And China kind of likes the idea of Elon getting it. So Elon Musk possibly buying it. Oh, and then there's the Shark Tank guy, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Very nice guy, although I do believe he's Canadian. Hey, who knows? Before you know it, we make Canadians, we welcome you because if Donald Trump gets his way, you'll be American anyway. I don't really think that's going to happen. But nonetheless, it's fun to talk about. Right? So what do you think happens to TikTok? Are you guys a big believer in this platform? Mr. Wonderful David, yes, he wants it. Don Back is after you guys. Make sure you hit the likes, so we can help the algorithm. We can help this show do better and better and better. I think we're at 1,425 at present. We got so much more. Quick reminder to go over to 76 Research, our financial website, where you can get a whole lot of information about financial markets and what stocks we like to invest in. Lots of different content there. Just a quick look at our top financial pick, up 24%, utility up 24%, real estate up 23%. You get the picture. It's important to put yourself and your financial future first. You can do that at 76 Research, just $1. It costs just $1 with code word dollar, $1 a month for the first 2 months. 76research.com. I'll see you there. Here's an interesting story for you. Have you guys been following this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and Taylor Swift thing? I mean, now Taylor Swift, somehow she winds up in everything, right? Well, apparently she's friends with Blake Lively. And Blake Lively, for some reason, is just now in the thick of it alongside Justin Baldoni, and they're going back and forth, and they hate each other, and Justin tried to apparently orchestrate some kind of PR campaign, which really in some ways can, I guess, expose just how bad the media is, right? Like, are they all for hire? If you get a good PR person, you want to just totally bury someone, can you do that? That's what Blake Lively is accusing this guy, Justin Baldoni, and if you don't know who they are, let me see if I can get a picture for you. Okay, here's a red carpet event. Okay, so that's Blake and her husband, and you can see, is that Justin? No, that's not Justin. Sorry, that's not Justin on the other side, but this is one of her co-hosts there. So Blake Lively had a big part in that Gossip Girl show. Terrible show, but lots of fun to watch. Anyway, so Blake Lively filed suit against Justin Baldoni because he was trying to malign her. And then Justin turned around and filed a $400 million lawsuit back. So I believe the title of the movie was It Ends With Us. But I think the reality is these two, they're never going to end. They're going to be in lawsuits from here to eternity. And now they're dragging Taylor Swift into the whole thing too. So this Justin guy in the pink suit, I'm sorry, I think this guy's just a complete wuss. So he's suing because he's upset because Taylor Swift put some pressure on him, he's alleging, to allow Blake Lively to rewrite the script of the movie that she was in. It's weird stuff. And so he's all mad at Taylor. So here we go. Last month, Blake accused Justin of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment, this is all per the Daily Mail, while filming this movie, It Ends With Us, in a complaint by the California Civil Rights Department. And earlier in the week, the actor who, along with starring in the film, also directed it. I always think that's a problem, by the way. You're starring in it and you're directing in it and you get the rewrite and you're doing the edit. I mean, come on, buddy, a little too much. But then again, the pink suit was too much. Okay, so earlier in the week, the actor, he filed this lawsuit against her, a counter lawsuit for $400 million with a whole bunch of shocking retorts. Not that shocking. I mean, he's saying that somehow Taylor Swift intimidated him. I mean, they're saying the most notable allegation here, I'm sorry if this is all you got, buddy, you're up a creek without a paddle. The most notable was his allegation that Blake got her famous pal, Taylor Swift, involved after he told her that he wasn't sure he would use some of the changes she had made to the script of the movie. Justin, they write, alleged that the singer, Taylor, who was not directly named in the lawsuit, but whose name was included in text screenshots to accompany his claims, made him feel, poor guy, that he, quote, needed to comply with Blake's direction for the script after she showed up at a meeting where they were having and began to excessively praise Blake's writing. Again, what a wuss. I mean, he's freaking out because Taylor Swift praises his co-star's writing. Taylor Swift's music was in the film, by the way. That's somehow an affront to him? I mean, really, these people all deserve each other, I'll tell you. They just all deserve each other. As Hollywood, goes up in smoke right now. It's just so sad. It's so sad. You know what? They need a whole remake of The Place. Donald Trump has actually got some good ambassadors. You saw Sylvester Stallone, for example, is going to be an ambassador of Hollywood. They're going to try and rebuild Hollywood. So it might be a little bit more normal. And I would just suggest that maybe you get a new governor and a new mayor. Anyway, they're back and forth with their lawsuits. And Taylor Swift's like, what? Like, why am I being drawn into this thing? This is kind of ridiculous, don't you think? Yes, it's ridiculous. I do absolutely think. I'm looking forward, though, to a great weekend. A wonderful weekend, because there is so much opportunity right now for this country ahead. For us to take back what is ours. For our economy to grow again. For inflation to be reduced. For families to feel like they have a shot. That they are moving forward towards something. There's so much policy that he wants to get accomplished. He wants to lower taxes. He wants to strengthen the border. He wants to truly make America great again. And this has been his passion. You go back, I was looking at some Larry King tapes from like the 1980s, some Oprah tapes from the 1980s. He's always had the same purpose. He's always talked about the same stuff. And you know what? He's going in with the wind at his back in a whole different way. The reality is, had he gone in 2020, we would have had 4 more years of the constant from the likes of The View and everybody else, CNN, MSNBC. But times are different now. Times have totally changed. The country is on board. The country is being united. We are coming together with the common purpose of helping one another to achieve the greatness that we deserve. This is going to be a terrific weekend, a grand celebration for the wonderful United States of America. I can't wait to see it. I hope you join me here. We got lots more to talk about. In the meantime, participate in the greatness. Make sure that you're involved in some way by going over to 76research.com. Get the Founders Club. Get all the portfolios if you can do it. If not, subscribe to the 76 Research newsletter, $1 a month, $1. And then look at maybe dabbling in some of those portfolios for an extra 22 or whatever it works out to being. Listen, you gotta, as I say, put yourself first. Take care of yourself. There's a lot of great stuff happening in this country. A lot of people will be rewarded. Capital will be rewarded. Investors will be rewarded. Be part of that. Be part of that. Enjoy making America great again, because I'll tell you guys, it's going to be a wonderful ride. I have never felt so optimistic as I do right now. It's good to see you. Ian, Barbara, great to see you here. Michael, great to see you. Oh my goodness. Fern as well. Tina, thank you. Yes, you're right. Please like and subscribe to the Trish Regan Show. We've got lots of good stuff. We're just getting started, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you right back here.